Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the weekend. So we'll get the camera here adjusted a little bit. So how's everybody doing today? Trying to get some of the extra light here knocked down and what have you. Alrighty, so we are starting our build today. On our 600 amp power supply. So right now we're going to go ahead and do the layout for the fans, and then comes the creativity of fitting 6 of these in this viewer. These are a little bit bigger than what I had anticipated. These are the 100 amp modules, so I've been contemplating a couple of different methods in relationship to mounting. But we're going to go ahead and take this up and lay out for the fans, and then we're going to pull up the faces or pull up the sides. We're going to look at the bottom. We've got a couple of different avenues we're going to have to look at and see which one's going to work out best for this. Yeah, sounds like I'm going to have to shut that door too. Everybody's enjoying the spring-like weather that we've got right now here in Indiana. We've been having all these cold days, and today I've got a whopping 70 degrees here in the shop. So I have taken full advantage of having the doors open. Finished up a few things that I wanted to get done earlier today, or make a little closer anyways, put it that way. But we also need to get this started as well. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and tape up the top here. This is where we're going to lay out for our fans. Before we start cutting holes for the fans, we need to also take into consideration some of the other factors. Apparently, again, YouTube is being a pain, so we're going to have to go over here, put the phone in, so I can read as you guys are commenting along. Turn that stuff off. Yeah, I don't know why this thing's not been allowing me to load up and do what I want to do in relationship to being able to see the comments as you guys post here, but we're doing what we can. Hello, Mr. Nobody, Bill, Mr. Black, I believe that's who that is. Good evening time or good afternoon. Yeah, we're not going to be out here long. I know we've got Super Bowl's going to be coming up. A lot of you guys are going to be watching that. I haven't decided if I'm even going to attempt to watch the game. I don't even know if it's even on my basic cable channel, to be honest with you. I want this to look real nice and neat. Plus, this makes it a little easier to be able to draw out everything and put notes on it, all that good stuff. As far as where we're going to put fans, etc. You should have waited, huh? Yeah, I don't know where my buddy 3 is or not. I may have to text him and let him know that I'm even doing a live feed. He's always eating something. It was earlier this afternoon whenever I was talking to him. How's everybody been this weekend so far? Everything been going good? Yeah, I thought I had another roll of that big stuff. So we're going to have to finish it out. I think with what this is 1.25 inches or something like that. Go back because I know I'm going to have to put a couple pieces in there, but we'll finish up what we got here. I just wish this painter's tape wasn't so doggone expensive, man. Crazy. Especially for no more use than what you get out of it. Liquid encouragement. Well, I hate to hear that, Bill. Well, I'm sure things won't be long for you on that because of what you do. Yeah, I hear you as far as on sick of the trucking. I've went out on 1 or 2 day runs with a couple of different friends that do that stuff for a living, man, and there is no way you would not want me behind the wheel of an 80,000 pound rig. In no way, shape, or form should I be allowed to drive an 80,000 pound rig. I'd get road rage so bad. I'd be in prison for the rest of my life. I don't see how you guys do it. I mean, I've got patience, but not for that. All right. Now we'll come back and we'll lay that out here in just a short. I'm going to go on to the next piece here. Piece. Our mid plate. All right. Now remember, I've got 6 of these 6 of these bad boys that's got to be mounted in here. So that's one of the things that we're going to have to look at and go from there as far as which way we can mount these. So like I said, we've got to get 6. We've got to get 6 of these in here. Still have to allow a little bit of room for the airflow. Cable crossing. All that good schniz. Hey, it's finally working now. Hey, good afternoon, George. How's things going on your end? Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Bus bars. Sadly, I bought a whole bunch of extra hardware because I didn't realize that they were going to supply me with nuts and bolts for this. Yeah, I haven't even got all these things unbolted or unboxed or anything yet, folks. But since this is going to be the heart of our project, like I said, we've got to figure out exactly how we're going to wind up laying these in here before we start putting any holes in any way, shape, or form in these things. I did download a data sheet. I don't know if it's the one that you sent or not, but I do have it. I do have the data sheet on these. It tells me as far as on how they should be linked together. I went ahead and went to another company and ordered the special plugs that I needed. So I'll have to make up the cables as I go along on that. That gives you guys any idea required for this. You know, unfortunately, I'm still not going to be able to sit there and just go off of just tying these all together as far as in a single daisy chain and then just running one cable. I really don't have exactly that option. So, we still need to go ahead and keep our cable lengths the same. So there again, that's going to be kind of important as far as going what we've got as far as a whole. All right. So this is option A that we're looking at for right now. Option B, what I originally was thinking, because I was thinking these were several inches shorter, I was actually hoping to set these in here in this configuration here. Now the other side of that too, that I actually considered, is the other option. The way I've been mounting most of these and building most of my supplies is mounting them on the side. For example, like this. The only thing is this also presents a problem because of clearance. Because of the length of these, I'm not going to have the clearance that I need, because this is one of the things that I'd already seen going into this with the cabinet that we've got. So, unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be quite the way we need to go. If I did, the problem with doing this is I really would have to do away with the center plate. I really don't want to get away. I really don't want to lose my center plate. That would actually allow me to drop everything down a little bit more, which in most terms would be great. But the problem with that is because there's so much weight that's going to be involved in this particular build. I don't want to lose my structural support and have to depend on just the outer edges. The other side of that too is the customer actually wants handles mounted on the outside of these. So there's going to be a handle approximately right in here on the outside and one on the other side as well. So two people can pick this up and move it wherever they need to. So that's something else that we also have to take into consideration. So as much as I enjoy building them actually on the sides and putting it together, like I said, I don't see this as actually being an option for this particular build. So what we'll probably have to do is build this essentially like this, and then just take the excess cabling that we've got on this module here, loop it back, and bring it along with the daisy chain that we've got here. So I think that's going to be our route. There again, I've got two different options as far as on mounting for this as well. One of which is on the AC. I can either come straight up with the AC here or flip it over, keep the AC closer to the bottom, and raise my cables here as far as for my DC cables. Keep those down close to the bottom. So that's one of those we're just going to have to wait to see how that all works out in relationship to the overall build. So since these are uniform as far as on the way the holes are drilled, I've got that option, but we can get to that when we get there. Definitely want to handle these with kid gloves, guys. About $400 a piece. Well, since this is up here, let's go ahead and take this up. Start getting some that way we can get some marking lines on this as well. And normally I wouldn't make this much of a fuss on the bolster plate on the inside, but you know, there again, we want to make sure everything's just as perfect as we can when the customer comes to pick up their product. You know, we do have live feed going on right now that we're producing for them. So we definitely don't want to take any shortcuts. Yeah, I think on that, I think what I looked up was the company called TDC. Whenever I got the specifications, they're also from another very reputable company that I use quite often for parts. DigiKey now has got these available, and they've also got the spec sheets. Let me answer a quick text here, guys, and I'll be right back. Yeah, I should have added another 30 bucks, guys, just for this stuff here. Alright, so let's go back to this. Try to get this in here a little bit better for you guys so you can see everything that I'm doing. Sorry guys, we're going to have to move you back a little bit further. Well, Mr. Nobody, did you get your antenna ordered today? Deal, that means a piece of straight. I know technically since I'm using a straight edge that it doesn't really matter, but it just helps us to make sure that we actually hit our marks according to what we want. So I'm going to set down a grid line. Now granted, there's not a lot that's actually going to be on this as a whole. This gives us our reference points so we know where we're at when we go to put our holes in here in just a few minutes. Now I've got just a scrap piece that we used as far as making a template. That's what we're going to kind of base our holes off of. Now I've also got some unique parts I've never got to use before. I'll get those out here in just a second. I also have to allow for distance spacing as well for the volt and amp meters that we've got. So I got to make sure that I'm back far enough on the face that I know I don't have any issues in any way, shape, or form when we go to install these. looking at approximately a 2-inch depth. So we've got matching volt and amp meters that's going to be used, and the customer provided us with the shunt. So there again, we've got to get all this in there too. Are the comments quit coming or what, guys? You know, what really sucks about these videos is the fact that we're not allowed to play music. That just drives me bananas. You know, whether it's here on Facebook Live or whether it's on, whether it's on Facebook or whether it's on YouTube. Yeah, they kind of get a little crappy about that. Okay. Okay, so I just grabbed 2 random fans just to basically kind of get myself an idea as far as measurement wise, so I can kind of see as this is going and being put together too, as far as where my reference points are, as far as where I'm going to drill my first holes. And then we'll come back and we'll use the hydraulic press. We'll cut out the large holes here for that. I think that's going to work, because what I'm actually wanting to do is pressurize the cabinet slightly and allow for the air to go ahead and escape out the back, which is where we're going to be going with this. So we're just going to use 2 fans. We're going to use 2 high flow fans going into this. All right. Somewhere .855. Alright, now in theory, should be able to take this right down on top of that. Provided I didn't make any mistakes. Let's see where we're at. Which we are off. Yeah, it's a 24 by 24 case that we're using. And somehow I guess I must have made a mistake whenever I was punching in my numbers, because I'm actually a quarter of an inch short. That's the reason why we're going back and relaying and checking everything. Alright. Looks a whole lot better to me now. Now the small holes I've got a little more tolerance with, but I still have to have those right so that I can index my center point before we go stamping those out. Okay. Somewhere I've got an aluminum version of this right here, but I don't know where it's at right now. looks like it might be off of this one right here. So maybe the thickness of the line. Well, good afternoon, Dirty Diaper. What's going on, buddy? Sorry, I haven't been looking at the screen. I've just been kind of going off of everything and kind of in. Okay, that one's about 32nd off. I know that hole and this hole here over on the side. That's the reason why. Under that line, wrong spot. That's the reason why we measure multiple times, to make sure we get it right. In theory, I should have the same on both sides. It's a lot better. Wow, down to 2 people. Come on, folks, you gotta speak to me here. Come on, we gotta keep this thing going. Today. Alright, so I'll get you guys on a live feed, and I can't get you to talk, but yet you'll call me and talk my ear off. Yep, time to change batteries. Grab a fan. We're going to double check ourselves here real quick and make sure everything's going to fit. As it should. Perfect. Yep. All right. Well, that's the whole intentions, is to make it fit like a glove, just like it was made to be that way. Okay. Now it's time to pull Betsy out. Here, what was that again? Alrighty. Now the big holes can begin. So I don't have to keep walking all over these shavings. Let me sweep this up here real quick and we'll pop those holes in there. Crazy, man. I've swept this floor like 3 times today and I still get a ton of dirt off the floor. This is what you need, Kevin. Yeah, I need to get a vacuum for out here. Someday. I'll tell you, Kevin, you ever use one of these one time, you will never use a hole saw again. Should have been enough. Only like a thread holding this thing on. Just like that, we got our first hole. Then we have our proverbial round to it. For whenever you get one. Around to it. Get it? Yeah. Old shop class joke. This pin all spun on here in just a second on this side. Spin that just a hair tighter this time. need much. Let's see if we can't cheat and use that. That's all we needed. We got that cut out. So an hour and a half, we got 2 plates covered, 2 large holes, and 8 small ones cut. You know, this is the reason why I actually started this part of it. Believe it or not, this is probably the part that is the most time consuming, just because of where you've got to have everything lined up for 5 holes to all match. But I think what I am going to do keep this one back for shim. Put it with my case. That way if I come across a situation like that again, I can put that on there before we get started, and that would give me just that little extra. So we're going to put this up for right now because we've got a bunch of layout that still has to come, and then we'll go to start stamping out the back and some of the other stuff. We'll pull this back out again and use this for the rest of it. That on there for a little bit of preservative. That way we don't have to worry about our tools rusting. God, this thing's heavy, guys. Hey, good afternoon, Bruce. Yeah, I'll be sending you a little electronic porn later on this afternoon. Why not? Alright, because it's just over here, because I had to move it a while ago. We've got it finally mounted. You've got your cables all ran through. Got that taken care of this afternoon, or earlier today. We've got the boards mounted. Got your cables all pulled up to here. Got your holes drilled on the left side instead of the right side, which we talked about. So, you know, I'll be putting in your final tune capacitor here and up here on the front here after a while, either today or tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and put the LEDs in there. If you want, because I've got two switches like we talked about, that way you've got a standby where you can go ahead and keep the fans running without the amplifier. If you would, tell me what colors you want, unless you're picky. You know, we'll go ahead and put you whatever you want in there for that and get you taken care of. But I've been putting this on the other chair and wheeling this thing around in the shop for right now. All right, so those power supplies. That way we can start some gazintas. Yeah, unfortunately. You know, but the other side of that too is, you know, once we get this down, you know, as far as on where our bolt holes and screw hole patterns are going to be at, it won't be that bad. You know, it's just laying out our lines as far as where we're going to start everything, and kind of go from there as far as on a spacing. So. And finding the English side of a ruler. Okay, so yes, theoretically, if I allow 3.5, 21, 2, 3, 4, that allows me 3 inches. Let's test that theory. So we're going to inch off the front. Inch and a half off the back. That way we've got an inch and a half space for the air movement in between here and the side. Let's stack those up and see. I would rather have them all together as I would to have that one sitting off here lonely. All right. I think that's going to work. Yeah, I believe that's going to work. The reason why I may go a whole different route than my original previous thought because of the way these are made. I may just go ahead and order some copper. I know these are a little short. I can order longer stock. The reason why I keep thinking this way, I can cut a whole lot of copper out of wiring because I still have to come to this and pull off of this as far as our shunt. That's what I'm thinking. Questions, ideas? I know they'll all fit this away. All right. So 23 millimeter. I have to go back to my other ruler that's a little easier to read. Okay, so approximately 1 inch there. Spacing out one there. We can get our center line started. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I have plans for all the real estate that's in here. Yeah, there's plenty more. We still got capacitors, we've got shunts. Now, this is the one that was provided for the specific meters that we've got. So this one is not one that I normally build with, so this is going to be a little different because I'm used to at least having 2 bolt holes that I can come off of whenever I go up to something this large. Yeah, with 6 of these modules and everything else that's going inside this, yeah, it'll actually have pretty much all the real estate totally engulfed. So this hole's in line with that one. Kind of get an idea if that's going to be enough. If I want to move that line up a little bit. It gives me about 3/4 of an inch instead of an inch. That way I've got a little bit more room over there to play with. That should be enough to be able to pull in all the airflow that I want. Probably come up almost another 1/4 of an inch. Let's go up another 1/8. Yeah, another big one there, Anthony. We are going to be using some monster wire on this. Super capacitors, no, but we are going to be using a couple of small capacitors. These actually don't need some of the extra that some of the other pieces of equipment that we've had in the past. It's not as big a requirement. We're going to put a small capacitor bank in this one. And 7/16. Dyslexia, guys. That happens from time to time. All right. Seven eighths. Alright, so there's our starter line. Now, because of the weight of these, normally on the small power supplies, normally I only put 2 screws in, but because of the physical weight of these and potential for this to be moved from place to place to place during shows or whatever that they're going to use this for, we're actually going to go ahead and use all 4 mounting screws for this, which makes it a little more tedious as far as on the setup, but we'll go from that point and move forward. Looks like that's going to work up to 1.5 inches. $300 Farad. Yeah, that's a little overkill. But at the same time, I'm the same way in most cases. I prefer overkill. I think I've got in my 600 amp that I built for here in the shop, I think I wound up with about 1.5 in the 600 amp, which I thought was overkill myself. Yeah, I'm actually surprised my buddy 3Mate hasn't made an appearance. Red LEDs, okay. Oh, I thought you were Anthony. I'm sorry about that, Bruce. I know he's got one, I think, that's similar to yours on the login. But yeah, like I said, Bruce, since my power supply is down, we're going to build this one. We'll test it, and then I'll get hopefully at that point I'll be able to get to the point where I can go ahead and tear mine back down and replace the bad modules. I've ordered some, and they finally pulled the trigger on this deal. I've been talking to them for quite some time about this. Because until I can get mine up and going, I'm dead in the water on something that big. If it's over a 5 pill right now, I can't pull it off of my spare. If it's anything larger than a 5 pill. So 20.25, center hole to center hole. 20 quarters. So, alright. Just making sure on what spacing I'm using, that way I can keep on going, and I want to make sure that I've got a little bit of clearance in between here for airflow in between the modules themselves. Actually, we're going to go with a fixed voltage. We're going to set everything at 14.5 on this and just let it ride. They do make a deal whenever I go to actually set these up as a slave, where you can actually adjust the voltage. Now, that in some respects I think would be good, but at the same time, you know, I don't want to give them too many options in relationship to. Granted, I know there's going to be one primary guy that's going to be operating this, which is very fluent in electric, but we want to make sure that there is no possible way that anybody can make a mistake. So that's what we're shooting for, is to try to make this as reasonably bulletproof as we can. You know, it's part of the reason for the extreme duty power supplies, which I was shocked whenever I gave the quote. I was actually very shocked whenever I told them, you know, what we were looking at as far as money wise, and they said, okay, let's do it. So I know I've got it wrote down, but I'm going to double check myself. So this thing's actually going to have a pretty nice little workout before the customer actually gets it. All right. So who's playing on the Super Bowl this year? Because like I said, I haven't even remotely got up to speed in any way, shape, or form as far as on the Super Bowl. Who's doing what? Who's playing? Who even made it, for that matter? where I kind of just did a quick glance off of this side with the tape. Went ahead and made me a carrot over here, so I kind of knew about where I should end up at. I'm within 1/4 of an inch from doing my pull off, but there again, I knew I'd tighten this side up just a little bit. So now we're gonna go back, since we know what this is all supposed to be down here at the bottom. Should be the same. And measurements came out the same, so that's good. Should have been 9 7/16. Yep. Yep. Alrighty. Now we can pop all of our holes in there and call it good. Rams and Patriots. Cool. Yeah, I'll tell you, that's part of the reason why. I mean, I've got a price list that I typically go off of on building. I don't use the cheapest thing, but I don't use typically the most expensive, unless it's specified by the customer. So this one, yeah, I mean, like I said, they're very, very pricey. I know they're good, but I've never used more than one at a time on anything. So it's going to be kind of a new experience as far as setting up the chain on these, having the slave drive. From what I've seen on the stats and everything, like I said, these are supposed to be the best of the best. So we'll find out. Like I said, definitely an expensive adventure. So we're going to lay it out. Like I said, we're going to try to be as careful as we can as far as on the layout and make sure that we don't make any mistakes, that's for sure. Yeah, I actually enjoy building these, guys. It's a lot of layout time, but it's fun. Alrighty, we got those all marked. Now we got to drill those. But I think what I'm going to do, since we've been out here, a little over 2 hours today, I'm actually going to go ahead and call it an evening on this stuff and kind of enjoy the rest of tonight. I'll come back. We'll get this all drilled and get some of the other plates mounted up and figured out where we're going to set our exhaust, where we're going to set our capacitor bank, and do some of our wiring in here. Still got to cut everything for the primary switches on the face. I mean, like I said, there's a lot that's got to go on yet. So, yeah, plenty more metal to cut. So, probably work on the face after we get the holes drilled here. I'll probably switch over to the face and then come back as far as on the layout, because I think what I'm going to do is get online. I think I'm going to order some more copper bars, and we're going to do something a little different on this. So, all right, guys, I appreciate your time popping in here with us. Like I said, hopefully we didn't take away from your evening on the ball games, but if you're watching me, you probably wasn't that interested in the football game anyways. So. All right, everybody, appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. We'll catch you later.